Hello, good morning, everybody. So today I wanted to take some time and shoot this video. What I wanted to do was cover some of the topics that I think a lot of people might have on their mind or they might want to know about us. So first, the topic I will cover is who we are, what we do, but more importantly, why I do it, and what actually brought me to this point of my life. So I will start with who we are. Obviously, our name is Salud Natural Wellness Center, Inc. We are a holistic practice. We try to take a natural approach to the modalities that we offer as services to our clients. So I will start with what I try to call my main modality, which that would be that of a naturopathic practitioner. So this one, normally I use it as the intake for the client, especially when they're presenting symptoms of various ailments that they're not exactly sure what's going on with them. So it's like a puzzle. We try to figure out the who, what, why, and when. So the next modality that I practice here would be iridology, which is ancient science. I look into the client's eye and I'm able to observe certain markings or certain discolorations in the person's iris. And from there, I'm able to not diagnose as much, but I'm able to tell the person's overall constitution. The next one that we seem to be practicing a whole lot would be the health and wellness coaching. A lot of people are at the point in their life that they know that they have to make a change and they're not exactly sure how to go about it. So at this point, I'll sit down and they'll fill out an intake form asking us or giving us rather information of their daily lives and certain habits that we all have. And at that point, I'll examine it and we'll come up with a plan of things that they need to either do differently, things that they need to eliminate, and things that they need to add. Another service that we have here would be supplement evaluation. Not all vitamins, minerals are created equal. And when I say that, I don't say that half-heartedly. There's a lot of junk out on the market, and just because it might say vitamin E, it doesn't mean that it's a natural vitamin E or one that your body's going to absorb. One of the other things that we cover here would be lymphatic drainage. This is a really big problem because either people are not moving enough, or they live sedentary lifestyles where they're behind a desk more than 8 hours a day. And it's so important to have the lymphatic system working properly. So one of the other modalities that we cover here would be to address inflammation, which it seems to be a chronic condition worldwide nowadays going on, whether it's because of the food we consume or just the environment, the water that we're drinking, and it goes on and on. Some of the things that cause inflammations in our bodies and how we treat them. One of the services that we have here would be our Megum table. This table is a wonderful piece of equipment that we have here. This table has jade rollers in it, and it sort of serves as a massage table, acupressure device. Within those jade balls, there's far-red infrared that gets omitted. We do have 2 additional pieces, which we could either put on the person's stomach, the person's intestine. Let's just say they have a knee that's bothering them. This table is wonderful, and we are able to either use it face down. Most of the people use it for their back because that's where most of us present our stress. We have a whole lot of other modalities that I'm not going to get into right now, but we will be doing specific videos on each and every one of those. But what I would say is check out our website. Our website has pretty much a full list of what we do here. So on that note, what I wanted to get into is why and what got me to this point. So I was in the insurance industry for over 19 years. I had my own business for 10 years. I ran 3 agencies at one point. And I would say maybe like into the 6th or 7th year of having the agency, I started presenting lots of weird symptoms. And I just thought to myself, I'm just stressed. I need to work less. So I would modify my schedule, but it got to a point where it was unavoidable anymore. It was like there was an elephant in the room and I couldn't ignore it anymore because it started pouring over onto my work. So what I did at this point was I decided to go to a doctor. So when I went to the doctor and I told them a lot of my symptoms, the way I had been feeling, well, I was told that I sounded like I had anxiety or that I was depressed. Well, at that point, something clicked in my brain because I said, well, I might have anxiety because of the workload. I mean, at that point, I had 6 employees, plus a family to take care of. And it got me thinking, well, I'm not depressed because those weren't feelings that I was having. And at that point, the doctor's alternative for me was to go ahead and start on 2 medications, which I knew were going to lead me to be dependent on them. Besides, they would have a lot of ramifications on other parts of my health. And I just didn't want to go down that route. And it was at that point where it always had been behind my head about the upbringing that I had growing up on an island. We always tried to use natural remedies to cure things. You know how grandmothers could be like, oh, you have this, go ahead and use cod liver oil. So it was that point that got me thinking. So I started Googling. And as I used Dr. Google, as we like to call him nowadays, I found a naturopathic doctor in my local area. And I went ahead and I visited her. So she had a long questionnaire and a lot of questions for me. And right away, I noticed the difference between this homeopathic doctor and the allopathic doctor. And for me, the difference was I was being seen as a whole. And I was being asked questions that referred to my mind, my body, and the symptoms were brought in. And at that point, they decided to test me, and that doctor was able to find what exactly was causing my issues at that point. So they got me on a naturopathic regime. I got put on an elimination diet because there was also some things that were in my diet that were affecting me. And I would say probably month into 3 of the treatment, I felt like myself again. So at that point, month 3 into the therapy, I was feeling like myself again. And I started to see the light at the end of the tunnel, literally. I realized at that point that the difference was that they were treating the root cause of my issues. They weren't just treating my symptoms. It wasn't just a Band-Aid being put over what was going on with me. And that's the difference that led me on this whole journey. I would say at that point is when I decided that if this was working so well for me and I saw the difference in my life, that I just had to start learning this, because that's just the type of person that I am. I'm a learner. As I started gobbling up everything that I could get my hands on, whether it be books to read, whether it was becoming certified. This was a journey that took me over 7 years plus to get to the point where I'm at now. What I will say is that the reason why I chose to do this is because I believe in it, and because I saw the difference that it made in my life. And at that point, I realized that I wanted to be of service, and I wanted to change people's lives the way my life had been changed, by simple tweaks, by adding supplementation, by changing certain aspects of my diet, and to be honest, by getting exercise. That's a very overlooked modality. At this point, I realized that the mind, the body, and the spirit were all interconnected, and you couldn't feed one without feeding the other. That would be where I start everyone who comes to our practice out. I like to use this slogan that I have here on the wall, which is a Reiki principle. This is something that I look at every day when I come into this office, and I try to inculcate it in my life. And it is one of the first things that the clients do look at when they come here. And for those who don't read English, because I have a lot of Spanish speaking clients as I am bilingual, I will translate it for them. I think it's a simple approach that all of us can use to live our lives to its fullest.